Obviously, we're in a pretty good blitzing year, so it's not really hard to find good setups. This video, though, will introduce more of a blitz concept rather than a specific setup for you, which I think can be pretty valuable. It's a B-gap blitz that you can generate from almost any play in any 4-down front. So right here, I'm just in cover 6 out of big nickel over G, but you can do this out of other coverages in other 4-down fronts like nickel 4-2 and 2-4. And so on. Just note that there are some plays that have kind of bugged out alignments. As we know throughout the game, there's always some weird peculiarities. But here's a pretty clean and straightforward setup. And all you really need to do is just blitz the linebacker that is behind the 3-tech, essentially. So the 3 technique in your 4-down front is the guy that's in the B gap, right? So you have the 1 technique that's in the A gap on the other side, and then you have the 3 technique, which is in the B gap on the other side of the 1 technique. And so you'll have 2 interior linebackers in these 4-down nickel fronts. Again, you want to blitz the guy that is on the side of the 3 technique, okay? The other thing you want to do is just crash your defensive line inside. And so it'll look something like this. So this 3 technique now stunts in to the A gap. So you now have 2 defensive tackles in the A gap, and then this linebacker is blitzing the B gap. Okay, so once I go snap this 5 against 5, he should find some room right through there and quickly get through to the quarterback. So why the pinch is necessary is because if you just blitz that linebacker as is, he's going to rush the A gap right there. And so if he rushes the A gap, it's just much easier for the guard, for the center to pass off the 1 technique to the left guard, and then the center can take that blitzing linebacker. So he came in kind of late there, but he almost always picks him up pretty easily. I will say, though, that there are some situations, they're not very common, but there are some situations where the right guard will actually, not the right guard. The guard that's above the 3 technique will pass him off to the center and will actually pick up that blitzing linebacker on that side. In this case, it's the Mike. So if you want to really just guarantee that this blitz will come home, it's the same thing. You're crashing your defensive line inside. You're slanting them inside. You're not moving them with any pinching or anything like that. And then you are blitzing this linebacker. And the other thing you can do is, say if you're using the other linebacker, blitz yourself as well. And that can be 2 simple steps, right? It's left on the D-pad, down on the right stick, right on the D-pad, down on the right stick. So that in those 2 steps, you're blitzing both your interior linebackers and you are slanting your D-line inside. Of course, as a user, you're not actually inserting on the blitz. All you're doing is just, after the snap, letting the blitz take you forward, maybe half a step or something like that, just to make sure that you're taking the center's attention so that the center works away from the blitz right away, and that just gives you a better chance of the blitz coming through. It's just something like this, and then the center is too late to come over to that other side. We can take this a step further also. So same thing, slant our D-line inside, blitz both of our linebackers. We can, we can drop the away side defensive end into coverage. Obviously, it's nice to get more coverage. In this case, you definitely need to blitz yourself. You don't need to mug these guys pre-snap to make this blitz super obvious. You can just be here, and then after the snap, just don't immediately backpedal into coverage. Just stay split second, quarter of a second, something like that. There, back in, and then you get your 4-man pressure coming in nicely. Now, obviously, if they block a running back, that makes things tough for us. We just don't have enough numbers. So I'll do exactly the same thing here, and I'm actually going to blitz all 5 guys. So it looks something like this. So he'll still come through that B gap, but the back picks him up nicely. Obviously, the pressure still comes in nice, but not ideal for us. Now, this is important. This isn't like some super meta blitz, overpowered blitz that you can just run every single down and just really be a menace to your opponent. Okay, this is something that you use more sparingly, something that you use strategically. So when your opponent isn't expecting it. So when you're expecting your opponent to be sending 5 out on a route or on a key 4th down, or even just on 1st down where you know your opponent's trying to make use of all 5 routes, you can hit them with this unexpectedly. And what's really good about it is that, you know, this is a setup that I used all throughout last year. It worked just as well last year, except this year, what's good about it, other than the fact that actually you can use it a lot easier in all these different coverages, or these different formations, is that these guys come in much quicker. As you know, this is a blitzing year, mostly due to, you know, the speed at which these blitzers attack. So this guy is going to come through, as you saw there in a few times, he shoots right through that B gap, and within a couple seconds, the quarterback's down on the ground. So that's why you use this strategically, right? So when they're not expecting it, that blitz is going to come through quick. You're not hoping for a loop. You know, the loops are good. The loops are hard to block, but even the loop takes a bit of time, right? So if you're running your cover 0 looping blitz, the offense still has a lot of time to run corner routes and post routes and zigs and things like that. This is quick and unexpected, and you're not even really giving up too many. As you saw there, we can do a 4-man version of this. So you're not even giving up anything in some cases, which is really, really nice. So use it sparingly, use it strategically. Now, of course, if you really want this to come in against the running back, there is something you can do, and this is something that I did last year as well. Just something that didn't really pick up, as most things are, but I'm just gonna give it here again. So what you do is same thing. You're you're slanting your defensive line inside, blitzing both linebackers. And what you're doing is, at least in gun bunch right here. Now this won't work in every single set because the alignments aren't as such, but I think bunch is common enough that you can do this. And actually, I'll touch a little bit on a couple of different sets right after this. But if you're against bunch, or say a trips look, where pretty much anything where the tight end is attached, you'll be able to do something like this. So on the away side defensive end, you man him up on the running back. These play arts never refresh. Okay, there you go. You man him up. So you got something like this, and then you can use somebody else. You can use this guy. So maybe you want to do, completely mag on the backside, man on everybody, and then you can play box right here on the 3 right here. So first out, second in, first in, something like that. So everybody's covered. And now, obviously, if the back is out, so if the back is out on a route, obviously you're getting a lot of guys. The back is still covered in this case, but the blitz is still coming through. Now let's keep the back in. So same thing, should be really easy to set up. So now we block the back, and you see that he's preoccupied with this looper, and the blitz still comes in. Okay, let's move on to some of these other sets really quick here. So when you don't have a tight end attached, what that means is that it can mess things up a little bit for you. So in this case, now we only have one backer in the box, and that guy is above the 3 technique, on the same side of the 3 technique. So that's fine. We can just run this as is. But there is a high chance of, again, what I said there, where the guard can pass the 3 technique onto the center and then work towards the blitzing linebacker. Let's see if he does that in this case. Okay, in this case, he doesn't. The guy comes through clean anyway. You're fine. But you may want to consider maybe bringing this guy back into the box. So now you have that same look that I showed you with the gun bunch setup, but now you are much more likely for this guy to come through. I know I haven't shown a single case where he gets picked up, but take my word for it, sometimes he can. So if you want to guarantee it, just bring this guy in, and then you can do your same usering like you always do. And this should work against play action as well. So everybody's favorite play, PA crossers, everything's the same, nothing really changes. And by the way, it contains optional. You don't need them to work. You can use them if you want. I'm not sure which one's better. But it's the same thing. Years past, actually, play action usually messed up blitzes, but I think it's still fine right here. So same thing, go here, goes through the B gap, right by the running back that's in the play action animation, and the quarterback's on the ground. Okay, last thing I want to talk about right here is a situation. So this is spread 2x2 on offense, where the alignment isn't favorable for us. Okay, so the backer that's in the box is away from the 3 tech. So if I blitz him and try to attack his side B gap, it'll be just really easy for the left guard to pick him up there. So Unfortunately, what you'd have to do is, bring this guy back in, which could be a bit of a tell. Maybe that's not ideal. But once you bring him back in, you just run your normal stuff and he'll still come in free, and you can do all the adjustments that I showed earlier. But yeah, that's basically it there. I'm sure there's more to it, but this is just kind of a basic look at this universal B-gap blitz concept. And then we'll be back with some more videos in the near future, maybe more blitzes, offense, defense, we touch on everything here. Okay, we'll see you guys in the next one.